The chairperson of the Desmond Tutu Peace Centre says the proposal by Archbishop Desmond Tutu to have a video link discussion with Tibetan spiritual leader the Dalai Lama will be facilitated by one of the elders, Mabel Orania. And medical experts are on high alert for the spread of waterborne diseases including cholera and diarrhea. I'm Richard Brooks. The chairperson of the Desmond Tutu Peace Centre says the proposal by Archbishop Desmond Tutu to have a video link discussion with Tibetan spiritual leader the Dalai Lama will be facilitated by one of the elders, Mabel Orania. Advocate Dumisa Nzebeza says this will depend on whether the Dalai Lama agrees. He says Tutu has written a letter to the Tibetan spiritual leader for such a request. Mercedes Besant has more.
Advocate Nzebeza says the lecture will be the main event, which forms part of the 3-day programmed birthday celebration, starting with a book launch tomorrow afternoon. He says if all goes well, the Dalai Lama will participate in the lecture.
Mabel is linked with the elders and she would moderate this video link. If the Dalai Lama accepts it and is able to get to a venue, which I think would be in New Delhi.
And he says this lecture is meant to be an inaugural event, aimed at turning it into an annual international lecture, where renowned international speakers who contribute towards world peace and stability will be invited.
Humanitarian organization Gift of the Givers says it will take some time before all 150 families rendered homeless by the tornado in Duduza on Gauteng's East Rand have adequate shelter. The organization began erecting UN-standard tents and Wendy houses yesterday and will be providing building material at a later stage to reconstruct permanent homes. Founder Dr. Imtiaz Suliman.
We need to build 150 homes. These are constructed fresh on site. The good thing is nobody's saying, please put me first, I want to be first in the line. Everybody's waiting patiently. So on the one side, we're putting the houses, and in the meantime, we're giving tents before those houses come. And in another area, my building teams are repairing those houses that can be salvaged so they can start using it immediately. But still, we can't get to 150 homes in one night. It's impossible.
With heavy rains and the increased risk of flooding in South Africa, medical experts are on high alert for the spread of waterborne diseases, including cholera and diarrhea. Dr. Stephen Knight from the Department of Public Health Medicine at the University of KZN says although significant improvements have been made in providing sanitation and safe water supplies across the country, many communities do not enjoy this right.
If everybody could wash hands with soap before preparing food, after going to the toilet, after coming in from outside, being on the train or the bus. Hand washing is the most cost-effective intervention in the world in order to reduce diarrheal disease and upper respiratory tract infections. It can reduce it up to 50% by proper hand washing with soap, and the emphasis is with soap.
The South African Civil Aviation Authority has found that proper flight procedures were not followed on board the plane that crash-landed in a Merebank school south of Durban 2 years ago. The investigation has revealed the true cause of the accident, which claimed the life of the pilot and seriously injured 3 members of the crew on September the 24th, 2009. The Aviation Authority's General Manager of Aircraft Safety, Obert Chakarisa, explains.
There was a problem with the engine that had a catastrophic failure in flight, which is the number 2 engine, right-hand side. And there are certain procedures that a flight crew has to follow. And those procedures will require that the engine that is on fire or the engine that has failed be switched off. But we were able to pick out that, in fact, there was a problem that flight procedures not being followed properly, in that even the engine that was operational or serviceable was also shut down.
Catch the latest news anytime here on Newsbreak Option 1.